simple strategies today. I'm the sticky note girl, so no PowerPoint or anything. I'm pretty much the sticky notes all over the place, and no techie skills whatsoever. I know skills can be learned, but I do try to stick to my strengths if at all possible. But there's a couple of really simple things that I think anyone can do, and when anyone can do something, then of course it duplicates, and that's what we want to do here, is leverage what we have. How many of you guys know about the group called a See a Healthy Self on Facebook? It's a private or secret, one of the two groups. So in other words, you have to be added to it. You can't just search it, in other words. So if you're not in it, get your upline to add you to it, and then you can, at that point, add friends and family and other contacts to it. It's an awesome, awesome resource. But typically, there's a couple of ways, just generally speaking, that you can get your product or service out into the marketplace. And two big categories, I guess, of prospecting and marketing. Now, marketing is more, it's slower. You don't have control over who sees your product or service, and it costs money. You need an investment, an ongoing investment, and you want to drive traffic to it. I don't do any marketing. I'm not talking against marketing today, but what we're going to focus on is the prospecting side of things. 100% of what I do is what I'm going to tell you about today. I'm all about all lines in the water, but there are a couple of things that I pretty much stick to, and that's what I'll talk about today. When you're talking about prospecting you have complete control of who is going to see your product or service, because you can go out and say, I'm going to prospect 20 people today, or whatever it is. It's fast. I mean, you are giving an immediate result or help to a need, solving a problem, more or less. And it's absolutely free. There's lots of ways that you can prospect. Of course, occasionally we do things like this, have Super Saturdays and things like this, but typically more one-on-ones or in homes, in your house. If you don't have 3 dogs like I do that like to eat everyone, you can have in-homes in your house. But also things that are more simple that everyone can do is a phone call or text or bumping into somebody at the grocery store or social media, things like that anyone and everyone can do. And a lot of things are about personality. I mean, you don't want to tell that introvert that they got to go do the 3-foot roll, like copycat Keith. He's not even in here, but that's his thing. I mean, he will talk to everyone within 30 millimeters of him. It doesn't matter, anybody and everyone, but not everyone's like that. I mean, I'm generally introverted, and that's not my style either. But everyone prospects in different ways. And it's definitely also about your personal needs. I mean, if you need sign-ups yesterday, you definitely want to prospect. Because marketing is going to take some time to get people to look at your product or service, and then you're going to end up having to talk to them on the backside anyway. So you can't get out and talking to people. If you want to be successful, you're going to be talking to them one way or the other. The two things I do, because ultimately all you're doing is drilling down. You are offering and providing resources to people and allowing them to drill down and make their own choices and their own decisions for what's right for them and their family. So you want them to see for themselves in many cases. I know I did. I mean, there's a lot of people that have a similar story. We were here, we thought it was this, and then we realized that it wasn't. Then, it ended up being everything we ever wanted and more. Well, that was pretty much my story. So the first thing I started with, before I even knew about Facebook group, was a simple 1, 2, 3. And basically all that is step 1, pique somebody's interest with something. Step 2, give them an overview to look once they're interested, a full overview. And step 3, follow up with someone else other than you. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's been here longer or your upline. It could be anyone that's not you. Because like someone said earlier, I think it was, I forgot your name. Cindy Buck. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to meet you all day. She's always been, and even at convention, oh my gosh, my mind went blank. But Cindy Buck, gotta meet you after the meeting. Didn't have a chance at convention either. But 1, 2, 3. So you can pique somebody's interest in a lot of different ways, but something short. What I did is I use a tool called 800 Link. It's not an affiliate program, nobody gets paid from it, but it's basically a way you can get a phone number and you can attach a recording to it. And you can make it short, 4 or 5 minutes, and then people can link.
What did you call it?
800 Link. 800 Link. And basically, it's just putting a recording of one that maybe we've already made, attaching it to a phone call that's yours, or you can create your own. And when someone dials that phone number, you get a report every day of everyone that's dialed your phone number, what time zone they're in, and then you have a little back office where you can put notes, follow-up notes. I sent this person a full overview or whatever the case is. And I like that because not a lot of people these days will typically put information in a capture page, unless they know what it is. It's not going to be, oh, click here, put your information here to learn how to make $1 million and, get it here. That's typically not the person you may be looking for anyway, for the most part. I won't do that. But when someone has their phone in their hand, because everyone does, and they dial a phone number, they don't know that you're tracking them. They don't know that you're getting a report every day that's saying not only did I listen, but how long did I listen to that call. So that's what I use to pique interest, because in my mind it was, oh my gosh, I had no idea that we had 100% of the market here. I thought this was saltwater. I thought this was just another nutritional thing. There's a bazillion out there. I don't do anything that's competitive. That market's beat up. I mean, there's some great products. I'm a chiropractor. I love lots and lots of those products, but the competition was, for me, something I never got involved with in this space. Also, we have zero competition. So I started thinking about all of these different things, and I said, well, I'm just going to make a little phone call about it, just to pique people's interest. And first I thought, I'll just lead with the product, and then I said, no, I'm going to lead with the product and the business. As I started getting going, I didn't want to be that ambulance chaser. We definitely wanted to share the message. So that's what I did, step one. Then step two is a full overview. You can send people to whatever you use. I use a website that has a couple short videos and then some additional resources. And then step three is the follow-up call. And then put them in that Facebook group. Add them to the group, or you can do that whole process in reverse. Put people in the Facebook group and then give them some resources. In that situation, they're not going to probably need a peak interest, whatever, because the Facebook group is piquing their interest. They're getting in the group, they're deciding for themselves, because they're seeing things, let them make their own decisions. That way you're not selling them on something. They're coming to you, just like they do in marketing. So I've seen where we can really start to leverage this, just like you can in marketing. So how do we put people into the Facebook group? Some people just want to know that. Let me just briefly touch on that. Because first of all, like I already said, you have to be a member yourself. And then the person that you're adding has to be a contact of yours, like a connection. You guys have to be friends on Facebook. And then when you're in that group, See a Healthy Self, there's a little blue button that says invite. And you just click that button, and you start typing in the person's name. Say you're typing in Mary. All your friends' names that start with Mary are going to pop up. And then you just choose the one you want and click invite. And then they have been sent an invitation. Okay, they're not in the group at that point because Facebook won't let you just put people in a group. I've always thought that was kind of rude. They used to let you do that. But now you have to invite them, and they have to accept on their end. So in other words, they have to click on the notification that you sent them saying, Michelle Lay invited you to the group of See a Healthy Self. They have to click on that notification, and then they have to click Join Group on their end. Well, what I was noticing as I started to do this process, because I've been doing the add tag message thing. How many of you guys use the ATM technique? You guys heard of that? Add tag message, it's awesome. Add somebody to a group, tag them on something that's relevant to them, or pinned posts, and then message them. It's awesome. But I just pretty much tweaked that a little, or just added a little bit, something different for me that worked along to that, because I was noticing how a lot of people were getting into the group. Maybe because they didn't have direction on how to do it. Some people simply don't know how to join a Facebook group. Or maybe it was because we get invited to a million different things a day and we've got this scrolling list of notifications that, we don't know anything about this group, so why are we going to join something we don't know anything about it? Or maybe they just don't have enough sense of urgency. So I just made this little message and I started inviting people to the group, and then instantly after that, I would send them a message giving them direction, sense of urgency, and just kind of a reason why they would want to be there in the first place, so they would not only, if they missed their notification, they might have it. And now the message, everybody's like, what's the message? It's very, very simple, and I really think it needs to be unique. to you, because if every single person sends the same exact message, then it kind of looks like a form letter and it's not heartfelt. But I'll tell you exactly, basically what it says in so many words. You know, hey Mary, I just sent you an invitation to a group that has about 100,000 stories in it of a unique technology that you've probably never heard of before, or that most people have never heard of before. And then I say, after that, I tell them how to get it, how to accept it. You know, in order to accept the invitation, just click on the notification I just sent to you and click join group. The name of the group is See a Healthy Self. So I tell them what the group is in case they want to go to it later. They already have an invitation, they can join that way too. And then at the bottom, I just say something like, you know, I have no idea the needs of your family, but I can tell you this has impacted mine in a big way. Michelle, let me know if I can help you in any way. Or something very, very simple. No links, no pressure, no, you gotta join my team, no anything at all. Just an invitation and direction on how to get there. Well, if I got that message, because I'm always thinking, you know, what would that do to me? You know, what would I think if I got something like that? Well, I'm always big on sense of urgency. And I think, you know, if I get a message that said 100,000, you know, there were 100,000 messages in anything, I would think, okay, well, something's going on somewhere. And about a technology I've probably never heard of, that's going to make me wonder, what is that? Okay, well, I'll click on it. I'm probably not going to be the person that's going to message you back and say, hey, you know, I clicked on your group, thanks for adding me, because, you know, I may not know that person very, very well, and I don't know what it is yet. So I'm going to be the person that secretly goes in there and maybe checks it out. That would be me. So what I started noticing was that all these things started happening. I was getting all these messages, and I had no way of really tracking it, but to flip through all the messages and see, you know, what was coming back from me. So I got a really handy-dandy way to track things. Not checking it all, but I decided I'm going to put this on paper. And of course, once you get the idea, you can do it on the Excel or whatever you guys can do that are techy. But for me, I'm all about sticky notes. So if I can have everything in one place and not scattered all over the place, then that's the step up for me. So I started noticing that things were coming back, and I was getting different questions and follow-up and different levels. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go through, and I'm just going to pick a letter of the alphabet a day for a month. And I'm going to choose, you know, the people that I'm going to send as far as my A's. And I noticed as I started adding people to the group, or not adding, inviting, that one of three things were happening. Number one, some of them were already in the group. So rather than me go back through and have to see, are you going to see a associate already? Did I add you already? You know, I just put a little line through their name if they're already in the group. And then the second thing I noticed was they had been invited, but they hadn't accepted yet on their end. So in other words, they were still showing pending. It just had like a little word outside their name that said invited, but their name would still show up. It just wasn't where I could click the blue box and invite. And so I circled those names, and I thought, okay, I can come back around and say, hey, have you had a chance to check out the group yet? So that would be an example of another message I could use. But for the most part, most of the people that I had invited that I may hadn't talked to in years. I mean, decades. It could have been people I went to high school with, or college, or connections of connections, or maybe somebody I worked with a decade ago. But, you know, as I were inviting these people, there's a little blue box out beside their name that says invite. So what I would do is just a little check mark by every single person that I invited. Just invite. And then I would go to send that message and copy and paste that little message. And the only thing I would change was their first name, unless there was something I needed to add, like, you know, I hope your husband's doing well, or, you know, if I knew something particular about that person, I would add that into the message. But typically it's about the same message. I would just invite people to the group and then follow up with a message there. Well, then all these comments started coming back. You know, thanks for adding me to the group. Yes, I'll check it out. You need to talk to my wife. This looks like something that might help her. Oh my gosh, does this help blank? And then all these different conditions would come back. So I thought, okay, this was another reason that prompted me to want to do this little notebook thing, because I thought I can track my follow-ups this way too, and have everything in one place. Well, so I decided to get a highlighter. I started with orange, and that was the first thing I did. Everyone that said thanks for adding me, or anything from a thumbs up to what's some more information I can look at, I would highlight them in orange. And then if they wanted something immediate, like, will you send me a website to take a look at? Or can you call my wife? All these things happen that I'm saying, every single one of these. I would put a little star by the orange highlighted name. And that would tell me, hey, I need to, this is like a hot lead. You know, I need to contact this person right away. Well, then I started thinking, what I just said, you know, I would probably be the person that would go secretly look. So I wonder, how many of these people are in the group and they're just not letting me know? They're just in there looking around. Well, as I was doing this process, and I did get through the entire, you know, list of people that I wanted to contact in 30 days through the alphabet, and that was, actually, I started the end of August and went through the end of September, so it was kind of during the time we were at convention. And I noticed when I was about to finish doing that whole thing, that Facebook started changing the way that they were doing their groups. And one of my associates is a lot more techy than me, very techy. He said, did you know we now get notifications when people join the group? Well, I hadn't seen that at all until about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I started getting these notifications saying, John Smith just accepted your invitation into the group of See a Healthy Self. And I thought, oh, okay, well that just saved me a whole lot of time. But I had already kind of gone through my list, and I put a little green little check by everybody that had secretly gotten into the group. And then I went back and just kind of messaged them. You know, so glad to see you had a chance to check out the invitation I sent you. Let me know along the way if any way I can help you, Michelle. No link, no nothing, let them do their thing, and believe me, they have. It has been absolutely incredible. I think in the last 6 weeks, it's gotten like 3 fast forwards just from that alone. And it's really been great. And just the kinds of people contact me. I mean, I got 2 more calls yesterday of people just saying, hey, you know, I really think this could help my mom. She's got this knee problem. Do you have anyone that has this? So then I started thinking about, okay, the search bar. That's another big thing that we can utilize. You know, if you go to that group, direct people to the search bar where they can type in symptoms and they can put in their symptoms of what they have. And it's amazing the things that will pop up. And I tell you what, when you hit somebody with something that they're going through, then you've got somebody for life. When they see all this, they're like, oh, so this helps this too? Wow, I didn't know that. And it was kind of wild. Just the other day, I was going back through, and this was, actually, it was a few weeks, it was right before I noticed that Facebook was sending us the notifications. But it was somebody in the group that was secretly looking around. And they were in there, and I was helping Neil the story, I think. I was helping one of my contacts, because she asked me, does this help? She had a tick-borne illness. And so she was typing it in the thing, and I just happened to look down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw one of my friends that I went to high school with, or I think college, and his name was included in there. And he was asking questions. Oh, cool, I didn't know he was in there, but he's in there asking questions. And I looked down, and Cindy had actually responded to one of his messages and said, get back with the person that invited you to the group. So I went back to his message and sent the little message, so glad to see you had a chance to check out the group I sent you. Let me know of any ways I can help you along the way. And of course, he's already in there. And he said, yes, I absolutely do have questions. I've got to get hold of this part. I'll order it. And then I had somebody yesterday morning call me up, and we're following up tomorrow. And she said, I've got to have some of this for my mom and my aunt, and I've already put in my friends and my family and everybody into this group, and this is incredible. I've never seen a group like this. So it's like, I was talking to my sponsor, and we were saying, this is going to be something that's going to continue to just expand and expand and expand. Because when you think about social media and spider webbing, it's not just your contacts and their contacts and their contacts. Hey, you may only have 100 social media friends, but you may put in somebody that has 5,000. And most people have lots and lots of contacts on social media. So along the way, if you don't have a lot of friends, or if you do, start expanding your group. When you're going down, start expanding your network, rather. When you're going down Facebook, you'll see, Facebook does the algorithms and all of that, where they have people you may know. Well, check out people's sites, and if you've got some great mutual friends, and they're putting some great positive stuff out there, just say hi. Invite them as a friend and send them an inbox message and say something like, hey, I noticed we had a bunch of great mutual connections. And I'm always looking to rub shoulders with people that are making it happen, have a fantastic week. Hope you're having a great week. And just say hello. And I've been doing that with people. I mean, don't put them in the group and they just met them. You're not doing that to them. But that's a good way to build your network, is just make some friends. And I've had a conversation yesterday with somebody I did that to. And it was amazing. We did the small talk and how, I see you have kids and blah, blah, blah. And this gal is amazing. I feel like it's a longtime friend of mine. But I had listened to a little live that she did, and it was just very, very positive. So, make connections with people that resonate with you and are at the place of where you are or where you want to be, those type of people. So I think that we can use that in all kinds of ways. And you can come back around and come back around. I mean, like I said, the circled, the people that are pending, we can come back around to them and constantly start doing that. But the big thing is, guys, it's not about you, it's about who do you know, and who do they know, and who do they know. But if you really find out, what fits your personality and your resources and your time, and stick to that, and really do it. Because when you have, I heard something the other day that really impacted me. In order to hit a breakthrough, you have to have strategy, and you have to have changed your story. It has to be something, because if you have a story of, I'm in the NFL club, this will never work for me, or whatever it is, everyone runs from me, that's just not for me. But the one thing keeping you from getting what you want is the story that you keep telling yourself and about why you're not there yet, So change your story. So if you have the right strategy and you change your story and you have the right story, because 80% of it I really do feel is mindset, then that will change your state. So I really feel like that's what people need to have a breakthrough. And it all starts with that strategy, but if you don't apply massive action to it, then it doesn't do any good anyway. So thank you.